for now, we are expecting lots of rain all day. Yeah. I'm heading to the gym so to get my head right for the day. Because if I'm being honest, I did Artisan Market about a year ago. It was my first event. It did not go well. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Rated G. I'm your host, G TERADO. If you are new here, welcome to the show. This is a podcast that generally revolves around all things art and creativity, as well as other aspects of life, interest, hobbies, other things like that. And I often sit down with other local artists, crafters, creative entrepreneurs, some who I've known for years and some who I've met recently. So if you enjoy this content, you resonate with the things that we discuss, please be sure to hit that follow and subscribe button, ring the notification bell. That way you can keep up with all the current uploads. And be sure to check out the show notes where I always provide links in case you want to continue to follow myself and the featured guest on the episode. And please don't be shy. Leave a comment. That way I know you're tuning in, and leave a like, all the good things. And for those of you that are tuning back in, welcome back, and thank you for your continued support. And let's go. Yeah, no guests. It's just you and I. And it's the last episode was I keep thinking heated, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if that counts. I don't know if that was necessarily a heated episode, but it was definitely I don't know, just an honest one. I had a lot to say, and this episode I have a lot to say. I have more to say. Just because this past weekend I did an artisan event. So if you've been tuning in on the recent episodes, I've been promoting it and just trying to get, I'm really trying to reach out to the local community here in Richmond. So it's just, being here for over a year and a half, I've been really kind of observing and trying to take in as much as I can from the market scene here and the experiences that I've had. And some were good, some were great, and then some were pretty unsuccessful. So yeah, I think a good portion of this will be about that. I do have clips that I'll be inserting later, so you can get an idea of the space and the how the market went. But before I actually dive into that, I do want to actually update any of the local listeners of Richmond. So I've been trying to get in on the sort of the gallery exhibit scene. And recently I submitted some artwork. I actually kind of mentioned it with somebody on an old previous episode, but I submitted some art at this place it's actually called Artworks Richmond, and I submitted 3 pieces, and one of them was chosen and selected to be displayed amongst the other great artists in the area. And it's there's technically 2 events happening on the same day, but the exhibit that I'm a part of is running from the remaining of August throughout September. I actually don't know when it'll when it ends in September, but it's probably like a couple of weeks, maybe up to midweek. I don't know. But so that the painting that they actually chose was actually my favorite piece out of my Tech Utopia series, the three subjects. So I'm pretty. I mean, it's kind of weird to be like patting myself on the back and like I'm not trying to boast or toot my horn, but I'm very content. No, not content. I'm very happy actually, and then proud and pleased that they chose this piece out of the three because the other two that I submitted was um a portrait of Bruce Lee. It was a 12 by 16, and the other one was another watercolor piece called The Beyond, which is it's been a popular uh piece in Jersey, back in Jersey and here actually been selling some prints of this piece, and it's basically a um I don't know actually how to describe. I'll say reverse pareidolia of it's a landscape, but it was sort of inspired and modeled after uh from a photo I took of my cat Siler sitting on our chair. So I'll I'll throw it in the frame. I'll throw it in the frame here, and and yeah. So they out of the selection, they chose the three subjects, which it's kind of funny seeing the promo for this upcoming exhibit, which is it's the fourth Friday art show. And oh boy, I don't know if you can hear, but the train is passing by. They are letting us know. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really proud that they chose this piece just because I feel like it's so profound and it's I think it kind of brings up a lot of mixed feelings and thoughts, and I don't know. I really hope with my whole art series, I really hope this kind of brings a level of awareness of our society as well as ourselves too, and like how deep we are in this sort of disguised dystopia. But yeah, it's funny seeing the promo for this exhibit because when you see the other pieces that have been selected and like mine just stands out. It completely stands out, and I have sort of mixed feelings about that because I do love being the black sheep when it comes to any sort of like group or yeah, any group or social convention type of deal. So, but that doesn't always play in my favor. So, yeah, just again, it kind of just add that's sort of why I'm proud that that piece got chosen out of the other two because I figured, hey, it's a portrait of Bruce Lee, you know. Um, I mean, I feel like who doesn't like a good portrait, right? And I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee, so at least I'm submitting artwork that is a piece of myself. But yeah, they chose three subjects. So let it be known, Richmond, your boy is here. But so that will start on August 26th. Um and that same day there's another exhibit called the August All Media Show, and it's for, I think they're doing like a silent auction. It's displaying painting, well, not just paintings but all different types of art representing the James River. um, so I thought about submitting something for that, but I'm like, I just being an outsider, I was like, I don't know. I just it didn't feel right. I don't know why. Uh, like so it's just like, hey, I know I really want to just kind of market my my aesthetic, my style. I don't even want to say style, but yeah, I wanted to really focus on promoting my work, especially my personal work. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous because I tend to, I've had this conversation with other artists about uh separating from our original artwork, especially when it comes to a potential sale. So, selling our originals, like, you know, as long as they're willing to pay that dollar, because originals are not cheap. Okay, folks, just remember that. um, so parting from if someone was actually interested in buying this painting, uh, yeah, I'll be sure to be be mentally prepped for that because it is my favorite painting. But you know what? If someone really wants to buy it, fuck it. I'd be very happy that someone would like to display that in their environment, whether it's their home or office or wherever. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I plan on actually going uh, to the reception to just be more involved with the community. Again, I'm really focusing on putting myself out there, whether it's just networking, or trying to sell or display. So yeah, I'm really trying to push that more and focus on that. Um, so that's what's happening. Um, and then I do have a couple of other markets that I did apply for that are sort of pending. I haven't they had haven't received any confirmation whether I've been accepted or not. But the two markets that I applied for, both at being held at the Basic City Beer Company. So again, you're a local in Richmond. I'm sure you know this spot, especially if you attend to these Richmond makers markets. The first one that I applied for is will be on October 1st, and it's the Spooktoberfest. So sounds fun. I figured why not. And I've actually this is one of the venues, one of the markets that I tend to visit. Not on a regular, but every now and then I do pop in, especially if any of my friends that I've met over here are if they got a table set up. So this is one of the markets other than pop up RVA that I go to frequently. And then the other market that I applied for is the November market, which is going to be on November 5th. So fingers crossed that I'll get accepted. All right. Uh, and just hope for the best. When in doubt, this is going to be a new motto. When in doubt, plan to scout. Yeah. So if I don't get accepted, I'm just going to make sure I show up anyway and check out the scene, check out the local vendors, and and network. If I see any opportunities or interests, I'll make sure to interact with them because I do like interacting and networking and get an idea of how well they generally do when they're doing the markets because a lot I'm seeing and hearing a lot of people do these markets like on the regular all the time. It's like it's like it's basically their income. So I really admire the hustle. It's really that's the hustle right there. And but to get because I'm always hearing about markets to check out or try out, and I've been sort of uh what's the word? I really I tend to just act before I think, I guess. And yeah, I would look up the market, and then I would immediately sign up to be on the mailing list and sign up as a vendor instead of really just waiting for the next event and checking it out. So I really need to stick with that, and and then yeah, and just maybe I'll see opportunities that'll help my business out, maybe get some clients for custom art. Yeah. Speaking of, actually, maybe I should plug it here now. I am available for art commissions. So, if you want to commission some custom art, they make great gifts for anniversaries, birthdays, holidays. Yeah, just hit me up and we can discuss more more details on that. All right. Now to get into the heavier topic. Um, so it's been about it's been about a little over a year since I did a market with this. I'll just call them an organization. Um, the Richmond Artisan Market. Now, I'm pretty sure I've talked about I've talked about my first experience. This was like the first market ever in Richmond, all right? And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I had to have talked about it on an older podcast. But yeah, the first time I did the market, it was unsuccessful. Um I think I actually made Patreon content with because I have video, so I will insert some clips here. It downpoured during the entire setup, and I had to do it by myself. It was really hot and humid too. This was in July, and uh, yeah, I had to take multiple breaks uh during the setup because I was just so tired. The sun came out for for a little bit. Things picked up, but and this was one of those scenarios where my my setup, my brand, just me as a vendor, I stood out a little bit because there are a lot of crafters and handmade makers. That didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, there was a lot of them, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I just want to make that clear. But you know, again, I was hoping sticking out in terms of like what kind of vendors we got lined up for this event. I was was gonna be in my benefit, be in my favor. It was not. I did not break even. I didn't break even. I sold only one print. Aww. One print. All right. And it wasn't like it was completely dead. People were stopping by, checking out the table. Yeah, and Nicole, thankfully, she came and helped as always. But yeah, it just did not work out. And you know what? The rain came back. That was the thing too, because there was live performances. I think there was like some like comedian or some stage act. This guy like doing like just fun stuff for the kids. I mean, on paper, the event it looked great. Uh, but just the experience, and it happens. Like sometimes it happens. I mean, you can't do anything when it comes to the weather. But I guess, and I don't even remember where this was at. But we had to stay outside. It wasn't a type of venue where you can move the vendors inside. But yeah, just the first time wasn't great. I don't recall a lot of interactions because that's one of the things I love about doing markets. If if I don't sell anything, it fucking sucks. But if I can at least have some really engaging conversations with the people stopping by, like I'll take that. As much as it sucks losing money, at least I was still able to take away some of the great conversations I have with attendees. Now this time, oh, actually, let's cut to the clips. Vendor's log. A vlog. Vendor's log. A vlog. We are here all set up for the end of summer artisan market, and it's a nice scene. We should go take a look around. I see a familiar face. It's Renee Kelper. At the table. Well, that's a wrap. Unfortunately, I did not break even, but sometimes that's how it goes. Until next time. But yeah, I fell short. If I had made one or two more sales, if I had made one more sale, I would have broke even. And that, because again, reflecting last year, I was like, if I can break even, that will be an improvement with this market, because I allowed a year of just observing and keeping in tabs of the markets. I even would visit them actually at one point, because they used to hold them at this brewery real close by. It's walking distance, called oh my god, why can't I remember it? Mainline. Mainline. And yeah. So that there was that. I did do an art hunt, which if you're not familiar, basically what I do every month to sort of, just to kind of do something fun for the local community, for the art lovers. Now I do 5x7. I would go out there and just drop it off at a location. I try to, spread out more, but I tend to revisit the same not neighborhoods, but the same areas in the city, and just try to, wherever there's foot traffic, I'll leave the artwork there, in the hopes that someone, whoever retrieves it, will follow and support my page and everything. So I did that at the artisan market, and a couple hours later it got retrieved, and I want to say thank you for the follow person out there. I want to keep them private, I want to be respectful. So yeah, to the person out there that retrieved the artwork, congratulations, and thank you for your follow and support. And yeah, good luck on getting the next one. It's actually funny because before they took the art, they saw it. I well, you'll see. Like, I placed it in front of the venue, which was at a brewery. So before taking the artwork, they came up to the table and talked about it and brought it up. And I was like, oh, I'm like, did you take it? Because I mean, it's all yours. I was like, if you want it, take it. That's all purpose. So it was fun talking to them for a minute. And yeah, again, like that, I love that. I really appreciate that. And I feel like I can speak for all artists and just other vendors. Like we love that. If you take some time to just, look through, peruse what we're selling, we really appreciate that. And I gotta say, like, even more so when we have a conversation about, what we're laying out there, so it all matters. So that's why I say that was the highlight, because I got to talk to the person that took the artwork, and you know they were very appreciative, and I'm like, well, hey, I appreciate you. So full circle. I truly believe, because I've been having this discussion with a lot of people and locals. Uh, like I truly believe now that if they uh, cut back on the weekly events, maybe try bi-weekly or even once a month, I think that'll add a little more value to the event itself. Now, when I was networking around and talking to other vendors, uh, it it seems that a lot of these organizers that host these artisan crafting markets, a lot of them started during COVID. Uh, and I get it, right? Again, a lot of these people, myself included, we're trying to do this. We're trying to make this our main income. Like this is how we want to make a living out of. So I can see, I see the intent, the good intentions of looking out for your art community and giving them a chance to still make money during this pandemic. Um, so having all these pop-up markets, I get it. And, in the beginning, I was all for it. I really supported it. I mean, every time I brought up moving to Richmond, people, oh, our community is great. And I've seen it, right? There's art everywhere, graffitis. It's fucking awesome. But now, this past year, and with my experiences, vending and also visiting, um, it's saturated. I've had this discussion with some of the guests that I've had on the podcast that reside here in Richmond, and it. I truly believe now it is saturated, and I think if they just cut back, it'll just add a little more value. It'll add a little more hype. Because I feel like it affects the marketing, because that's one of the things I was paying attention to with Artisan Market was the marketing. How much are they promoting these events that they're hosting? I mean, I don't want to disparage their support of the artists and the crafters, because they promote their vendors. But I think, when you're hosting events that are every weekend, and they're in competition with maybe two or three other artisan markets that are happening, uh it's like, I don't know, it can be like I don't know. I'm not saying they're shooting themselves in the foot, but it really makes it hard. It makes it difficult, especially if you're just getting out there, like myself. I'm like, damn, because once you kind of got your foot in the door, and then it's more accessible to be a vendor at these events. Then I can see how it can, the what's the word I'm looking for? I can see the improvement on the bit on your business or brand, like that the growth there. You're able to you're out there more. So, I'm trying to get on some of the mailing lists with other events, but I'm, after all this uh, you know, collecting of data, I'm gonna try to be a lot smarter about my approach. And again, I'm still visiting, doing some recon, networking and stuff. Uh, yeah, I'm still trying to get some more intel on how well these particular markets do on this regular basis. Um, but yeah, it's just funny because when I talk, like every time I always look back, like this summer was great in Charlottesville. Charlottesville had two very successful festivals. One was like a whole weekend event, one was 1 day. Uh and like I, I I I was in the profit margin for both of those events. Um and I think it's because they were so spaced out. Like there weren't too many things competing with those events at the time. Like before those festivals, there would be a farmers market, but like usually that crowd would just traffic. They would find their way to the festival, so it still worked out in our favor. Um, but that wasn't happening every weekend. So yeah, again, going back to marketing, I think it's how they also market it. Another thing that I was also paying attention to with Artisan Market was the aftermath, because some markets will, as well as the vendors, we tend to, make an appreciation thank you post uh after the event. And um event runners, they do the same, right? They'll share and thank their vendors and thank the people that attended. And they kind of just shared the overall outcome of the event. And I wasn't seeing that with Artisan Market. Right? And again, I'm not trying to disparage the event runner. I'm This is just, yeah, yeah, I know I'm being very critical, but again, I'm just speaking out of what I've seen and also what I've experienced. Not even just here in Richmond, but like how, just how things were done prior to Richmond, because I've been doing this for so many years now, and I did it uh pretty regularly. Again, I bring up the Trenton punk rock flea market. I bring up that Trenton scene all the time because that's like, at least for me, that's my prime example of like the art community really serving their artists and their community. And the way they space out their events, like, again, I was doing, I say like at least 5 times I was doing markets in Trenton, because I would try to get on every seasonal market and anything in between. Because they had seasonal Trenton punk rock flea markets, and then they would have art all day, I think in the spring into summer, and then they would have art all night, which was, I think, is later in the summer. No, that was like fall. So they had these other things going on. And um yeah, I really, that's why I use them as a prime example. So yeah, I wasn't seeing the results of the event with this particular, with Artisan Market, right? So I was like, all right, that kind of, makes things I'm a little more questionable. No, that makes them more questionable, because I'm like, all right, how successful are these events? Because I'm not hearing word of it from you, and not so well. I don't hear about it from the vendors unless I actually approach them. So hopefully this will be, I don't know. I really hope more vendors will be vocal. And actually I should call back the time because I think I did. I definitely talked about this once. Someone It felt like I was being thrown under the bus because I was included on this post that a local artisan maker shared, and they were kind of, they're pretty much trashing on artisan market. And we had a private conversation before they made this post. And I told them, like, yeah, I've done an event with them. It was like my first time, like, and I explained my whole situation. I was like, I'm new here, just came from Jersey, blah, blah, blah. I was like, it wasn't that great. This happened, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And then they made this post and was really kind of just going in on this on the artisan market and threw my name in the mix because they were like, yeah, I talked to these people and blah blah blah. I was like, oh shit. I was like, why would you like why would you tag all these people? Like, come on, like keep that. It's like just say that you've talked to other vendors and there's been a collective agreement on how they felt about the market. But anyway, I kind of get it now. I understand more now about the frustration, but I felt like the way it was handled was like, oh, whoa, all right. Uh so yeah, I really think to go back to before. I think if they cut back, maybe just do a couple of markets a month and then see how well they do. And especially the vendors, like maybe they'll make more money. It might double up because, you know, uh, again, I think when you have a little less, it'll just give more value to the events when they actually do happen. Um, and again, right, and there's so many. Like I always get confused because a lot of these markets kind of sound the same to me. And the key word there is artisan. I I truly misunderstood the meaning of artisan because I always took, hey, artisan's got the word art in there. Maybe it's more focused on art, visual arts, illustrators, painters. Um, but it's still more on the crafty side, right? So there's a lot of like, there's Richmond Makers Market, Richmond Artisan Market. There's another one. Uh, Shit, what? Sorry, I'm going on my phone to see this one. It was Richmond, um, RVA Moon Market, Spurs, which I've been very vocal about on the last episode. Hold on, let me type in artisan. Maybe I should just type in market. Yeah, RVA artisan market, market, RVA. Jeez. So yeah, it's all like I don't know. So again, I misunderstood the word. Uh and it kind of got me thinking, I asked my friend Renee, I was like, hey, are there any like event runners, organizers that focus just on the visual arts aspect? Because I mean, sure, you got your exhibits and on all that, but I mean, something that's kind of like the middle ground where it's a market, a flea market, but it's more of visual artists than just craft makers and hand makers and all that. I mean, I hate to bring that, like, put that divide there, like draw the line there, but yeah, I don't know. It's just the one. And speaking of being a black sheep in the lineup of vendors, like that was definitely the case this past weekend at Artisan Market. Out of everyone along the way, on our floor, the first floor, like I think there was a total of 3 visual illustrators. That's including myself and Renee, and then there was one other person I saw that had some like abstract art. But everyone else were just all handmade crafters. Like I think there was like a person that sells like keychains and one like these cute like cards, and one was like ornaments, and so yeah. Again, that's why it's important to really go out and visit these events before trying to book them or apply for them. We'll see. We're gonna see how the rest of this year goes, and then hopefully, hopefully next year will be better. Right? Always hope that things will get better, and just learn from the past. So that's it. Those are my final thoughts on that. I tried not to spend too much time on that topic. I think I did okay. Leave a comment. All right. If you are especially if you are watching on YouTube, please leave a comment. I really want to hear both sides too on the spectrum here. Like, I want to hear from the vendor side, and I want to hear from the consumer side, the people that attend to these markets, right? Any market. It doesn't have to be an artisan market. It can be just any type of market where people are trying to, small businesses. Yeah, please leave a comment, or if you're just listening only, send me a DM on social media. Reach out. I want to connect with you guys. All right. And that is that. And hopefully you enjoyed the clips. All right. That I've included there. Yeah. All right. Let's before we wrap up, I want to get into some of the things that I've been excited about in terms of entertainment. I mean, it's a little late now, but Hulu had put out Prey, which I remember talking about way before it came out. How I was very intrigued on the approach here, and man, did it blow up on Hulu. Like, the general consensus is that people loved it, including myself. I fucking loved it. It's definitely one of my top Predator films. And I didn't realize this. It only went to streaming only. I thought it was going on stream and theaters. Which I guess like that wouldn't make sense. But I wouldn't have mind paying for it in theaters. If it was only showing in theaters, I would have paid for it. I would have went and seen it. But man, I had, as soon as it came out on Hulu, as soon as I found out it was out, fucking had to watch it immediately, because goddamn, YouTube and just media in general, relentless with spoilers. I mean, right? Because everything's all about the clickbait. So thumbnails, headlines, boom, you're spoiled. You're already seen a spoiler just from those two things. And I do my best to just, when I'm scrolling on my phone and, I'm seeing like the very top and I can tell it's something about Prey, I'm like, no, fucking scroll past real quick. Don't even read any words from the headlines. Just scroll past. And I try to do that with anything that I'm excited for when it's premiering, TV shows, movies, right? So yeah, watch it immediately. Fell in love with it. I've already watched it 3 times now. And because I'm this type of geek, I've been vocal about this. I tend to go in these like rabbit holes. So after watching Prey, um, I went back and watched the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator 2 with Danny Glover. Then I watched Prey in Comanche dub, which actually was cool. And then after watching Prey in Comanche, I watched Predators, which had Adrian Brody, Danny Trejo. Oh, who else? The guy from That 70s Show. I can't remember his name right now. It was a pretty good cast, a very interesting cast. Shit, what's his name? Morpheus. Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne. He was in it. Yeah, I actually still enjoyed that movie. I thought that was a pretty cool concept. Um, but the going back to the thing with Prey and watching it in Comanche, I remember before it even came out, just when they announced that they were doing this, I kind of had hopes that the movie was gonna be like sort of like, oh shit, what's the movie in Guatemala? Oh no, what's the movie? Uh it like it it takes place during like the ancient times in Guatemala. Oh my god. I gotta look this up. Uh Ancient. What am I saying? Wait, why am I on my phone? I'm gone you Google. Um oh, it's gonna fucking bother me. Ancient film out. All right. Ah, there it is. Apocalypto. Thank God. All right. Apocalypto. I was hoping, in terms of the dialogue with the characters, I hope it was gonna be. I was hoping it was gonna already be in Comanche and it would be subtitled. Now, I know a lot of people are not fans of having to read subtitles for in movies, but hey, whatever. I just thought it would add. It would have added that just a little bit more authenticity to the movie, I think. Although I truly believe that I forget the director's name that did Prey. I think they represented the indigenous culture, the Comanche tribe. I think it was well presented and represented. Cause and it said too, the girl's name, the main star, I can't remember her first name, but her last name is Mid Thunder. That's fucking badass. But I believe she auditioned in Comanche as well, which makes me wonder if the other cast members did that. Um, but either way, right? In English, it's good. In Comanche with in the language, it's cool. And I don't know. I feel like if it wasn't dubbed in Comanche and it was actually filmed in Comanche, I mean, yeah, that would have been awesome. Um, Either way, I love it. So I keep seeing now like the debate about the because there's if you're not familiar with the franchise Predator, there's subspecies of that alien which is called the what is it? Something with a T. Predator. What is it? Predator species. Yeah. It's like something with a T, right? Yachua, Yacha, Yaucha, uh, Yaucha. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but anyway, there are different classes, like different species of the predator, and so a lot of people, fans, are debating like which is the best one, and you know, um, and I'm gonna have to say, my personal favorite predator right now is the feral predator, which is what you see in Prey. Um, and you know, despite the design criticism, because that's the thing, it looks different than the previous predators that we're familiar with. It still had like the I don't even know what to call them for the at the around the mouth, the little claw things. Um, it still had it, but the way the anatomy of its skull was a little different. And there was reasons for it. I keep seeing articles with the designer talking about the decisions that were made in terms of its anatomy, and I'm for it. I don't mind it at all. Like people were butthurt about it, and I'm like, fuck it. Like if like, and it's funny because we're talking about science fiction here, but if we're really trying to be as logical as possible, like with this alien race, it's like, all right, obviously there's evolution stages. So why wouldn't it look slightly different? Right? This is like dating, this is during the ancient times now. Well, actually, what I think the movie Prey took place in the 1700s, the late 1700s. Um, so I don't know what to name that era, but yes, I mean, like why would the predator during that time period look the same as the present? And that's the thing too, right? Because there are different subspecies. So a lot, like, I guess like the better, like as you climb up in the ranks of the predator, like you get better technology, better weapons. Sometimes they're like beefier. So like if you watch Alien vs Predator, you got like those beefy guys. They were kind of like, I think they were a little higher in the tiers. Um, I don't know. I would have to look it up. All the different types that were featured in movies and even in comics. That's another thing too. This shit comes like from the comic books too. But anyway, despite the design criticism, which I actually do like, they used I believe the guy they used for the predator was a basketball player, because he had like a lean. He was still huge, but he had a lean look. And it's when you watch the older Predator movies, they still kind of looked. It's the same thing. They weren't like so fucking brolic and bulky like they were in Alien vs Predator, but they were still bigger, but they still look kind of lean and cut. It's just their heads were bigger. They had like the bobblehead silhouette. But yeah. Um, I also so now this is kind of like nitpicking a little bit, but I have noticed, and I guess because just the times of what was available in terms of special effects and practical effects. Some of like the weapons in Prey, they seemed more advanced than the ones we've seen in Predator 1 and 2. Uh, like the feral predator. Spoiler here. I should have said that in the beginning. My bad. My bad. Uh, but anyway, so the feral predator actually still it has this device, this weapon. It's a net, but it fucking like cuts through the thing it captures onto. So you see it in the original movies, but in this one the shit fucking cuts through it just there. I'll just say this, that the technology of work seemed to work faster in Prey than Predator 1 and 2, right? So he had the catch net that cut through everything real quick. And then he also, so when he would behead the victims, because he would collect their skulls. Um, in Predator 2, when I think they called him like the city hunter or something like that, or the lost predator. I don't know. I forget which type of predator they labeled him as. But when when he had a skull that he was cleaning off of. He had like it was like a little, like it was like a tube, and he's like just sucking off all the the tissue and all the skull gunk and all that stuff, the skin and everything. And then he had like a almost like a buffer, or like those sand, like the sand buffer things to smoothen it out. It's pretty funny, right? Uh, so like he had that, but in Prey, again, spoiler alert, there's a scene where the predator takes out this wolf, and he decides to take the wolf's skull, and it was and so he takes the head and he sprays like this, like it looked like it was like an aerosol type of stuff. He sprays the stuff on the wolf's head, and like everything just started deteriorating like immediately till it's just bone. And I'm like, whoa, hey, like that shit worked a lot quicker than Predator 2. So again, right? I'm just nitpicking. I just thought that was kind of funny. The one thing I really want to point out, in terms of like, oh, like which Predator was like was the coolest. I really appreciated the body language. I'll say the body language, and also the sort of just the combative skills of the feral predator. And I say body language because like he would do he would do the thing where as he's walking up to his victims, I don't want to say twirling, but when you got like a sword or something and you do like you do the things, like he would do that like anytime he would like whip out his lance or whatever, like he would do like cool little stuff like that, whereas just looking back on previous Predator appearances, like they don't, it's always like about just them shooting their plasma rays, and they're just big and brolic, so they're just tackling. It's just a little more brute than this one, where it kind of just, I don't know, like it felt like a hunter. Now again, this is probably just because they're trying to really cultivate that, like this is more traditional race of predator. But I don't know, I just thought that was cool. All right, I thought that was different, unique. And there's already talks of a sequel to it, which, hey, I'm all for it. I'm curious to see what time period they would approach, and I really hope it's the same person. I hope the same person that directed this one will do the sequel. A lot of people are speculating maybe during the feudal Japan times with samurai. They'll do something with the samurai, which I thought would be cool. I mean, obviously they're already throwing like names of actors, like Sonata, what's his first name? Played Scorpion in the latest Mortal Kombat movie. He was in The Last Samurai. Like they were thinking of using him, and that would be cool. But I was also thinking, what if they did something with ninjas? That would be pretty cool, right? Like a ninja, like while the predator is trying to hunt down this clan, maybe parts of that clan is tracking the predator too. Like, so I don't know. I just putting it out there. I thought that would be an interesting concept. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Other things that I've been excited about in terms of what I've been watching, is What We Do in the Shadows, which is directed, and I guess directed by Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. I fell in love with the original movie, which had Taika, Jermaine, and then this other guy, and I fell in love with it immediately. So and then now they have this Hulu series, and it's 4 seasons now. I didn't really think it's been out that long, but I'm glad I actually took the time and watched the series. Like I'm pretty Like I'm already now in the fourth season, the current season. And right, I think that's the current season. I'm glad I watched it from the beginning because I do feel like um the first two seasons are definitely better as of right now. I'm not really feeling the direction it's going, but I'm wondering if there's like a difference in terms of like writers and all that stuff. But um yeah, I'm just, I'm a fan of Taika Waititi. So, I try to check out his more of his work. I he did well, speed of Taika. That last Thor movie, Love and Thunder, wasn't that great. I was pretty bummed out. I wouldn't have minded. So that's the thing. I wouldn't have minded waiting to watch Thor Love and Thunder on stream because we did go out and pay for it to watch it. And I was like, shit. I wouldn't have minded. I could have waited. I rather would have paid to see Prey than to see Thor Love and Thunder. Um, but Tiger has other great films. Another favorite of mine is Jojo Rabbit, which takes place during what World War One, Nazi Germany. Uh, that's a good one. It's funny, but it's also pretty. It it played some of my heartstrings. Uh, but yeah, what we do in the shadows. It's been a while since I've been excited for a series and really binged it. Like I was binging. I would try not to binge too much, but I would be watching it like 5 episodes in a row. And I try to discipline myself when it comes to that, especially getting into a new show I like. But hey, is what it is, and yeah, hopefully it gets better. Yeah. I don't know if you're tuning in and you know the show I'm talking about and you've watched it, yeah, leave a comment. I wanna hear what you got to say about it. And then the last thing I'll bring up is this YouTube series, which I'm so happy that it's back, is Scott Adkins' Art of Action. I've talked about this. I know I've talked about this before. Scott Adkins, who is well known for playing the role of Yuri Boyka from shit is it oh Jesus Boyka. Man, so I gotta eat something. Undisputed, that's it. I was like, it's something with un. Yeah, Undisputed. It's a franchise. It's a good franchise. If you like martial arts and fighting, that's a good one to get into. But he plays the antagonist, but then turns into a protagonist. They basically do like a spin-off with the franchise. But that's what he's known for. He's also been in the fourth installment of Yip Man. He played the bad guy in there. But he's been in a bunch of stuff. And what I love about Art of Action is that he sits down with a lot of the legends in martial arts and martial arts film. So he's always talking to directors, actors, stuntmen. Like he's had some legends out there. People who worked with Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan. He had Tony Jaa from Ong Bak. He had Tony Jaa in there. Who else? Just so many people. He Dolph Lundgren. Trying to think. Not. I don't think he didn't do Chuck Norris. He did do Steven Seagal. He had him on there. So again, he had all these legends. If you grew up in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, like you would love to watch this shit. So yeah, that's what Art of Action is about. He sits down with these guys and they go over the stunts and the scenes and just what goes into filming action scenes in films. So if you're into that, check it out. It's awesome. And yeah, and what's funny, I know I've talked about this too about Scott Adkins, is that like I discovered him on Yip Man 4, and I fucking hated his character because he was a bad guy and he was such a dick, and I was like, fuck, but you know what he did, that's what makes an actor a great actor or actress, if they can get you to fucking hate them. But then seeing him, then I saw him on this series on his channel, and I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. He's talking to these guys, and I really I grew to love him through his Art of Action content over his movie roles. But yeah, I don't know what that really has to do with anything, but yeah, I just hope he keeps. I hope he keeps doing them because I love it. Like he recently had, what's his name? He was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the second one, The Secret of the Ooze. He played he was the pizza delivery guy. But anyway, he was also in The Rundown with The Rock, and yeah, I don't know. Check it out. Art of Action. It would be so awesome if he manages to get Jackie Chan on there. Like that would be fucking dope. Although I don't know if I see it. Just knowing Jackie and like what he's up to now and what he's, his current goals and everything. Like he's so global now, he's just doing his thing. Like I just can't imagine. But we could always hope. So we'll see. That's it, guys. If you've been tuning in throughout this episode, I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please follow, subscribe, ring the bell. That way you can keep up with all my releases, and also more so on YouTube. It can be a little confusing because I don't have a Rated G YouTube channel. Rated G is published underneath my Art of G Terado YouTube channel. So I'm always, I always put it out there to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can keep up with the podcast and other art content that I share. But if you want to check out older episodes from, I've been doing this for like 3 years now. It's kind of wild. But if you want to check out the older episodes, I have links that'll be provided in the show description, because they are strictly audio. So yeah, I hope I hope the stuff I talked about in the beginning, I hope it resonated with anyone that is anywhere near in that similar situation, especially any aspiring artist that is just getting out there. I want you to really take some mental notes from anything I discussed that you got to hear. That way you kind of know what to look out for when you start, going out there and putting yourself out there at markets or art shows or anything like that. All right. Anything where, you don't even have to just be an artist. Like anything that you're doing where you got to put yourself out there in the public at any type of event, keep your eye on these things. All right. And I'll probably be talking about it even more so as I get more artists and creators on the show. So again, thank you for your time. I hope to catch you guys on the next one. But in the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay aware, and create something. Catch you guys later. Peace out. Juggling fire.
One stick this time.
And it's starting to rain.
For presidents.
Is the rain gonna put the fire out?